Hey, people, welcome to Bouncing Brains. I'm Sean Hatfield.
Welcome. We have Keynote, a local rapper, in the house, and we have Bryan, one of our local comedians, for this episode of Bouncing Brains. How's everybody doing?
We good, man. It's Keynote right here. We good. I'm good over here.
Some of us are high as fuck, and it feels good, huh?
Everybody look at this stuff. Look over here.
Yeah, man, and we good, and like this is the launch of our second episode.
This is episode number 2, man.
Episode number 2 with very special guests, and I'm glad that I got you early, Keynote, because I wanted to. I told Sean I wanted to, when we were planning this shit out, I wanted for it to be diverse. I wanted to touch comedy and talk about comedy and have comics over, but I wanted to have it diverse to where we can have musicians and rappers and come. And like I told you, eventually we want to set this up to where we can have a space to where when you're a musician rapper, you can actually perform something live, and we can record that and put that out as well. So we want to have that dynamic in our podcast as well.
Doesn't quite work the same for stand-up comedians. I mean, we could force them to do a set, but just to torture them.
Yeah, it's see, this is what a lot of people that aren't comedians like don't understand. Like with you record a song, you put that out on your SoundCloud, whatever it is, right? A CD, yeah. And you want people to listen, and you want people to press play, and you want people to replay it and shit. With comedians, it's different, bro, because all we have is the element of surprise. So we want completely the opposite. Like we don't want people to record us, because if I record it and I said that joke and somebody else hears it, when I go to them at some venue and they're there, it ain't gonna be that much of an impact because they already heard it.
Have you ever did a show, right, and made a motherfucker put their phone away? Like how Chris Rock might do, or how Dave Chappelle might do. Have you ever did that?
I once, but I was trying to be very polite about it. I was at a Luna's coffee house.
Right.
And I had just started doing my material down here, because I used to do material when I was in California too. I had just started doing open mics down here, and I felt my set was still shaky, and there was a girl recording me. She must have been like 18, 19, and she, like, right in the front row, she was like this. So and I told her, I was like, ma'am, I'd appreciate it if you put the phone down, and my performance is for you. And as soon as I said that, she was just like, and
I did that shit. Yeah, go ahead.
But yeah, again, going back to we only have the element of surprise and shit. Yeah. The video that I put out was because I wanted to see the impact of that set online, like what people thought online, because there's a lot of people that still haven't seen me live, so yeah, I wanted to see how they would take it online. So
yeah, I pulled that shit one time.
Yeah.
Before a show, before I even started my set, I told everybody, I said, look, man, when you go to the movie theater, they tell you to put your shit away. Right. They tell you to put your phone away. Yeah. When you go to a play, a school function, they tell you to put your shit away.
Yeah.
So I said, hey, grant me the courtesy, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Give me 15 minutes of your time. Put your phone away.
Yeah.
And on some real shit, motherfuckers, they had the phone out.
But let me ask you, you did it because you didn't want them to record you, or you didn't want them to be on the phone?
Be distracted. I understand what you're saying, though, when you about the element of surprise. You don't want,
Yeah.
But I was just saying, like, I was just saying in general, like, have you ever stopped the motherfucker, like, man, put your shit down, let me do my thing, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, right.
I can see that. You want them to be in the moment, listening to your music.
Watching you. I mean, if you want me to watch you, right?
Yeah, no, definitely.
Like, I mean, we can multitask. I can text and listen, but don't you rather have me look at you?
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, hey, man, so put your phone away and just chill. You here to see a show. Right.
Yeah.
You're here to see a good time. You're here to hear some jokes. You know what I'm saying? So it's like,
Yeah.
Why waste your time with
I feel like people record too much nowadays. You know what I mean? They they're
exactly.
showing you, hey, look what I'm doing, rather than enjoying themselves in that moment. They're like, look what I'm doing.
And Kevin Hart was the one that worded it the best. He's like, my show is just not a show. My show is an experience. So why would you want to be distracted with your phone when I'm giving you this fucking experience? You know, so I would like for you to give me the respect of like you said, you know, put your phone away, just give me your time.
I mean, unless you're
unless you're
unless you're recording me. If you're gonna if you have your phone out, record the show.
Yeah.
And then you go home and watch that shit later.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying?
But you do bring up a good point. I like that point.
Yeah, no, shit, man. I was at a concert not too long ago, man, and specifically bought tickets with seats in them, and people were standing up trying to record over each other. And it's like, why did you even, like, you could have gone, like, up on the hill for free. Yeah. Like, why the fuck did you even pay for the seat?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think the weirdest thing is that people, they do exactly that. They'll pay for a concert and record and put it up on Snapchat. And I'm wondering who on Snapchat's actually, you know, wondering like, wow, that's great. It's a great recording. Thanks for giving this to me. When your speakers just sound awful. You know, it's not even clear, crisp sound.
It's horrible, man.
It's horrible. No one's going to sit through any of that.
Yeah.
Motherfuckers be recording themselves in VIP and shit. Just recording themselves like, look at me, I'm in VIP. Like, bro, just
and they don't even
yourselves.
You're right.
Yeah.
Sit down and just enjoy yourself. Nobody care, man.
And like nobody, like when they're doing that shit, like I'm in VIP and whatever, and they don't even give a shit about the show or the artist or whoever's it. Like they're not even like enjoying the experience or whatnot. And that is actually a real good point. Like from a musician's perspective, that's a real good point that you brought up. Hey man, I didn't even ask you, bro. Excuse my fucking hospitality. You want water, man? I'm saying water because that's all I got.
Oh, sure. Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, cool, man. So
Right on. Yeah.
He's hoping you say no. 'Cause he only got 5 of them.
Well, like you said, you kind of hope they're recording the show, man. I think there is a certain point with like performers that, you know, if somebody showed up to your show with like a good camera and some sound equipment, you would just be like, yeah, no, record the whole thing. I'll even tell you, I'll do the good bits, man, so you get exactly what I want you to get.
Definitely.
Which is, I mean, even with comedians, man, like Freddy said, man, you want the element of surprise, but I do believe there is a point where it's like, this is a good little piece. I think this could get out there in the world.
Yeah.
Or I go home and watch it myself, man. Like, yo, this shit funny. Like, I got 30 seconds of your show, man. Like, that shit ill right there.
Yeah, and I think a bad recording, like you're saying, would definitely take you out. Because I personally, I feel like there's like there's a setting that comedians, definitely the comedians try to set when you're in the show, where you're actually experiencing and watching it. I think there's a lot of bits that can't just be recorded and put online because it won't be as funny because you're not in the moment.
Right.
You know, they kind of, it's all about setup, you know, as you're saying. And it's also just about, in a sense, the ambiance that we're trying to put up for y'all. And when you're not in that mental state, it might not hit as well.
Well, hell, man, you might even run the risk you get some friend of yours to record some bit you did, and like 2 years later, you're looking at that shit on Facebook going, oh, God, why the fuck did I put that up? That shit was fucking horrible.
Oh, just cringe at yourself.
Oh, fuck yeah, man.
Oh, yeah, I definitely know what you mean. Like, especially now, like, I mean, I've only been a little over a year in, and even so, I still see, like, the change. And I listen to the early stuff, and I'm like, man, what was that doing? You know? But it's understandable. I mean, it's the first time.
And see, the other thing, going back to your point, the other thing, man, is that what I've noticed is like us, that we do open mics, and you do your shows or whatever. Like, I feel that when people don't pay money, like that it's a free shit or like an open mic, there's no commitment. So like there's no, like, they feel, well, I didn't really spend money on this shit. So that's when you run the risk of more like people being on their phones, because I see it all the fucking time, man. On open mics, like, if you don't, like you said, if you don't ask for it, people won't pay you no respect or anything.
Unless you dope though. Unless you nice on the mic,
and
I think I'm pretty nice on the mic, where you could just like, yo, this motherfucker be spitting. Hold on.
I think I know what you mean.
And I got some real shit, man. You know, like, it's just me.
Well, where did you first find like a venue for it, man? Like a place you could actually go and like it wouldn't have to be like, hey, can you guys turn down, Sports Center real quick so I can try to fucking do this for you?
Man, I'm over here feeling like y'all got me up on this pedestal right now. Like, hold on, this guy, man, he might be dope for real.
Mm-hmm.
Man, nah, man, like, I don't command shit. You know what I'm saying? I don't command nobody turn the TV down. You know what I'm saying? I don't command, pay attention. That time was just that one time. I just want to try something different. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it worked.
Yeah.
And I might do it again.
But-
I might do it again, but no, I don't really, man. Like, I need to get popping.
But
Yeah,
you did do that. You killed that DMX show, the pre-show. Remember that?
Yeah, I did. I did open up for DMX in 2014.
Yeah.
And
That's awesome.
Right.
Damn,
What
bro,
I know, it was
that's
that
how long I known you, bro. Fuck.
Yes, man, and like it's just this rap shit is just a hobby.
Yeah.
Like it's just a hobby.
Okay.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like I like to do it because I can.
Yeah.
I can. And now I think shit finna shift.
Yeah.
I think things gonna change for me. I think I might have to go
Right on.
like all in.
Okay, well, there's a different question then, Matt. Where are you finding venues now? Like, you're living here in the Valley. Like, where's the place where you can actually go and do what you do, man?
Flying Walrus. You know what I'm saying? Flying
Right.
Walrus.
Yeah.
John Mack. His name was John Alocer. Is that how you say it? Alocer. Spanish. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Alocer. You know what I'm saying?
Alocer.
But John Mack, man, and he's just one guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Right on.
He's just one guy. There's other guys that I just found out.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Not really just found out, but I knew there's other rappers around here
Yeah.
who I don't even fuck with really.
Right. I know.
You
There's this other guy who I performed for, or not for him, but he has an open mic at Oak every, I think, third Thursday.
Someone told me about that just
Yeah,
recently.
you should
Somebody
contact that
keeps
guy.
telling me that what the fuck is Oak and where
Oak
is it?
It's a bar. It's like they call it a Texas style bar.
Where?
It's over on 17th next to I think that club's now called Lit.
And
It's like
they have open mics.
they have a single open mic on Thursday, every third Thursday. You have to ask the promoter himself
Okay.
ahead of time because he has a set number of people who
I was about to
perform.
get on Sean's ass. I was like, why have we not?
Yeah,
touch
no,
that.
it's
I haven't been downtown for almost a year, man.
Yeah.
That's why.
No, we go. What do you mean? We go downtown all the time.
No, man. I just lost touch with the local open mics, man. Like, for example, like I've run into John Mack before.
Oh,
man.
so you know John Mack?
Yeah, man.
Yeah,
I've
so
been
shout
to a
out
couple.
John Mack,
Dude, he
man.
does
You know
great
what I'm saying?
shows, man. Entertaining
Yeah.
fucking shit, man. Like he's good about putting together a booker, man. As a booker, he's putting people on that are.
So to answer your question, that's who I go through. You know, that's who I
that's
go.
good to hear,
And John
man.
Mack would be like, "Hey man, you want to get down?" And I'll be like, "Yeah." You know what I'm saying? And I'm on the bill, just like 10 other motherfuckers or like 5 other motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? So like, it ain't really too hard to get a show. You know?
right.
Right on.
Nice.
So
Yeah.
I used to. The reason that I touch that subject a lot, man, is because in the 4 years that I've known you, I don't think I've ever told you this, but I used to rap, man, when I was in high school.
you told me.
I did.
You told me.
I did the whole little mixtape thing. Me and this other homeboy, we used to record mixtapes and put them out and everything. And but back then, man, this was before social media. This was in the fucking MySpace days, bro.
Yeah.
So that was the only social media we got, and we actually started a bit before social MySpace took off. So we actually had the real grind. Like we had to go to people personally and be like, hey man, like I'm a musician, like can you let me
Right.
in? It was back when Metropolis was popping. Like I performed, you know. See, y'all don't even know where the.
I've heard of Metropolis. But that's an old place. No, I'm not old enough to have
Yeah,
been
I
there,
was
but I
about to
definitely
say.
heard of it.
It's a different scene now, Freddie. It's a different scene.
Yeah.
Thank you for making me feel old and shit. Like,
Yeah.
I ain't heard of it, man. You know what I'm saying?
that's even worse.
Okay,
bro.
so here's an interesting question for y'all. Now that we have social media and the internet has become obviously as popular as it is, do y'all think that it's become easier or harder because there are more entertainers now? So now you have to compete even harder and just
Both.
reach out.
Both, because it's like now what they did with that shit is and the same thing with music. They gave everybody a fucking bell. So now the bell that you used to have that only Keynote had, now he has to not only sound it louder, but it needs to be more in tune. And people got to be like, hey, man, I still hear his bell. And people got to gravitate towards him. Like us as comedians as well. You know, everybody and their mom want to be a comedian. They turn on the YouTube channel. They say some stupid shit, and they're famous. There's, back to you, there's a lot of fucking famous rappers nowadays that can't rap for shit, dude. I can't.
And they're popping.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I'm saying? They're
Yeah,
popping.
exactly. Right. And the same thing with comedians. We touched on this on Tuesday. I'm not sorry for what I'm about to say, but Amy Schumer is not funny.
I agree.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
There's a lot.
Not funny at all.
I mean, there's
Like,
plenty of people. Who
We
say
pretty
that.
much receive consensus all the way around.
Yeah, I think
Good.
yeah.
So, and I'm a real big hip hop head, man. Like I'm huge on music, like really big, and I'm a real big critic too, cause I used to do it. And my biggest thing is I hate when these so-called rappers, I feel like they just pimping the game. You know, they just get in it, get a little money, and they want to get out, they want to enjoy it, and that's it. But they don't take the art like seriously. They just
Right.
they don't. And there's a lot of them that I'm like, there's a lot of them now that I don't even fuck with. Like I won't listen to them. I won't, because I don't. I posted some shit on Facebook a couple weeks back, and I put, if your name sounds like a 2001 cartoon character, I'm never fucking buying your music. So
Yeah.
that's why I said, like, there's a lot of people that I just don't fuck with. And I had this conversation with another one of my homeboys, and he asked me, he's like, so who is it now that you respect? You know, and I said, I mentioned Jay-Z and I mentioned Eminem, and he's like, but they old. Like, who from now do you respect?
Like
And
nobody.
I told them the only ones that I feel that got it and are killing it, and I feel they're doing it right, is Kendrick and Cole, J. Cole.
Those are the most two common that people say.
Yeah.
You know who's pretty good too? Who I haven't listened to enough, but Childish Gambino is pretty good.
I look,
Right on.
I'm not gonna lie. I can't do a judgment call on that because I have not listened enough to say I don't like it or I do or whatnot. But I mean, outside of those, I don't. Outside of Kendrick and Cole, it's really hard to fucking. You know what I mean?
Here's a little angle on it, man. Like, and this might be that whole, like, you know, as you get older, you get a little bit more mindful about, like, you know, being financially conservative and shit like that, man. But like, take a guy like Immortal Technique, right? Like when I was younger, like I had to like,
Fuck yeah, bro.
but I had to like the artist because I agreed almost with their lyrics. I was like, man, I feel you, man. You're speaking my words, type of shit. And like, don't be wrong, man. I used to fucking bang on fucking Immortal Technique like way back, man. Just fucking like for days. That was the soundtrack.
But it's because that dude like.
Well, also, man, like, here's the thing. I don't necessarily still agree with some of his politics, man. Like, I mean, I still agree with him on a lot of stuff, man. But this motherfucker, like, has done shit independently as an artist, made his fucking money, and he's gone out and, like, he was involved in some program that was building schools in Afghanistan and just crazy fucking shit. But, like, the motherfucker's done it all on his own terms. And, like, I mean, shit, dude, he could come out tomorrow and just be, like, you know, saying some crazy fucking shit. And I'd be like, I still respect you as an artist.
Yeah.
Right.
I mean, so you're talking about, like, the availability. You were talking about, like, ringing the bell, right? And I don't know if it's necessarily the right metaphor because of social media, like, you don't just have a bell now. You have, like, a bell with a megaphone. If you know how to, like, build it, you know, you can hook the megaphone up into an amp and just fucking. That's what I'm saying.
Well, yeah, but kind of what I was getting at is that my main point to that was that, like, everybody got it. All you got to do is press a button and you're live. Literally. That's all you got to do. If you got a computer, if you got a, you know what I'm saying? If you got an internet connection, you press play and you're on. Now, it's up to you what you put out. But my point is there's a lot of whack-ass rappers that put out bullshit and they go platinum, man. And that's just not...
Well, this is what I was saying as far as the tools, man. Because, all right, a lot of the people we're talking about as far as the whack-ass rappers are people that are already keyed into the system that has the amplification already, right? Like they already have the tools to fucking broadcast that shit out there.
Yeah.
But more and more, if you know how to apply the tools that you have available through social media or through, even using social media just for looking for opportunities and shit like that, man, you are able to connect with more people who themselves have more tools. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if you're that type of mind that can kind of apply networking to the whole thing and get people together who are good at different aspects of shit, you can have just as much of a voice as any motherfucker who's in $1 million studio. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. But I'm not going against what you said. I completely agree. But I'm just saying, like, the only thing that I was pointing out is you can have $1 million studio, but to me, a real artist, a real rapper, it's in the content that you put out. Back then, like, I like motherfuckers that told me a story, you know what I'm saying? That meant something, like Slick Rick, you know what I'm saying? I love Slick Rick, dude, because that dude actually came with something, like NWA, whether you liked them or not, like, they were like, I guess what I'm saying is, I liked more socially conscious music, I guess. You know what I'm saying? Like NWA. I've heard a lot of your shit. I've heard enough of your shit.
My shit?
Yeah. To say that from what I've heard, that's what you do. You talk about you. It's your life through your lyrics. And that's what I appreciate. You know what I'm saying? Because I've heard other people from the Valley, up and coming, that, and I'm going to be completely honest with you, man. Like, they talk about a car they don't got, money they don't have, and a bitch they don't fuck. So you know what I'm saying? Like,
true indeed.
I'm not down with that shit.
Yeah.
Which it's gonna be a weird ass fucking segue, but I had somebody come up to me at Yerberia, and they said, "Hey man, your jokes. This is exactly what he said. He said, "Hey man, it's cool. Your jokes are kind of funny, but like, is being handicapped all you talk about?" And I was like, "Well, dude, like I'm giving you my life, my experiences.
This is what I know,
and this is what I know." And then he went on to say, he said, "So when are you gonna stop talking about handicap stuff and talk about something else?" And I told him, "I'll stop doing that when I stop being handicapped and I'm something else." And I was like, "But for your information, this shit ain't never gonna stop."
Yeah.
So my point is, I can't tell you something I don't know. I'm giving you my life, my experiences to my point of view, and that's why you get it that way.
But I think what it sounds like maybe what that guy was getting at is like what someone would have told me when I first started doing stand-up. A lot of my stuff is about being Chinese and Mexican and growing up in the Valley like that and how it's weird and whatnot. And a lot of my material was of that, like a lot of material. At one point it was just probably 50% of my material, which at the time wasn't a lot of material, but nonetheless, it's just like, okay, well, like, what else do you think about, man, besides that? Like, that guy probably, Freddy totally gets you. Like, okay, yeah, absolutely, it's part of who you are, but who else are you besides that? Like, that's definitely you. I accept you as that person. People accept me as this Chinese Mexican dude. But what else do I think about? I think, is what some people have asked me when it comes to getting new material.
No, that's fair, man. I think, all right, first of all, if you're looking at an artist and the motherfucker, like, is going like, hey, with Freddy, I got cerebral palsy, man. This is why I'm moving like this. And it's like, okay, you're going to expect that that's part of what that person's experience is, but they're also a person living in the same world you're living in. So at some point, they're going to talk about some shit that you're familiar with.
Right,
You know
yeah.
what I mean?
Exactly.
I think that's what they were asking you. More so like, okay, dude, like, what else goes on? Like,
Oh, no.
Like,
I'm going to stop you there, Brian.
Oh,
just because
okay.
I think that, I don't know who made that statement, but if it came off the way you're saying, man, I think that was an arrogant comment, man. Because that might even, I'm not saying willfully arrogant. Like, maybe the motherfucker came up and he was looking to fuck your day up. It was just, I think that's something people do off the top of their head, like, here's what I think you should do with your dreams.
Exactly.
It's like,
okay,
That's exactly, Sean. That's what I was getting at. Like, look, how can I say it? Like, I feel that I'm the comic, you're the artist, you're the comic. They or the spectators, they came to watch. I wrote this shit. You know what I'm saying? You weren't there when I wrote it. You know what I mean? They weren't there when you recorded it. All right? So just because you're watching, it doesn't give you the right to dictate what I'm gonna say. Going back to that retarded joke I said.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't say it with the intention of offending that person. My intention was, I'm trying to make you laugh. The fact that you got your panties up in a bunch and you took it that way, that's on you.
Yeah.
But that's not the way I intended.
The best
to
you
go.
can hope for in that situation is to maybe like just say something like, "Hey man, have you ever thought maybe you should think about that in your own life instead of trying to tell me that?"
Yeah,
like, it's one
yeah.
thing to have that thought. Like, I'm glad you had that thought. I made you think a little bit, but maybe try to apply that shit to your situation and just assume that I'll figure my shit out.
Yeah.
But just assume that if I'm good enough to be on stage performing in front of a bunch of people, I've got something figured out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Which I wanted to get your perspective on that as an artist, man, because I've been in your shoes too. But when you write and you record your music, you put it out. I know that you have the mindset of, I'm writing this because I feel this way. This is what I feel, so on and so forth. How do you feel? Me, for example. But say that I'm not your friend, you don't know me, whatever. But I do come up to you and I tell you, hey man, that stuff that you said about black people, and say that I was, of your race or whatnot. Like, that stuff that you said about black people, I feel that you're being a negative influence because you're setting us back. How would you feel about that?
Well,
I'm not a rapper, by the way. I'm just a person that's giving you this.
like on the real, I wouldn't say no lyric like that. Like I wouldn't. I got a lyric in a track that nobody's heard, and I'm gonna switch it because it doesn't make sense. I don't like it. I said you wanna bang, then we banging, right? All white hoodie, all white ones, KKK, I'm hanging, right? And I was like, that was an old ass lyric, like from when I was younger.
But
Then that's when somebody would come up to me and say that, like, bro, why would you say that lyric? You know what I'm saying? So I wouldn't say it. So that right there, I'm gonna change it anyways. You know what I mean?
So okay, perfect example. That is a perfect example. Why would you change it? That's what you felt.
Well, let me ask you that. Is it like, was that just like the thing where your mind went like, you know what, that shit is that's witty, that's clever, but yeah, like you're saying, you're looking at it now and you go, that's not what I wanted to say.
Yeah, I thought it was a cool ass lyric. Like I'll be candid. You know what I'm saying? So like, I said, if you want to bang, then we banging, nigga. All white forces, all white hoodie, KK Keynote. I'm hanging niggas, right? So that was the lyric. And I'm looking back like I ain't put it out or nothing like that. But I'm looking at that lyric like, nah, that's not it. That's not it. So that's when somebody will come up to me like, you know what, that lyric you just said, yo, why you saying like that? Like
Yeah.
you right. You know what I'm saying? You're right.
Well, we were just having that conversation last night about self-censorship and comedy, man.
Going there.
Yeah.
Go
Right.
for it. I was
Right.
I was
Yeah, Freddy was on a podcast we recorded last night with a bunch
Yeah.
of comics, man. We were talking about, like, there are some things, like, you don't want the crowd to censor you. Like, if you're like, no, that's what I wanted to say, and you're telling me I can't say it, then fuck you. But if I said something and I'm looking at it later, like, first of all, if you're doing it on stage with, like, I would assume if sometimes you get a little free with lyrics and shit if you're doing something that you're familiar with that you can play around with, or if you're freestyling or whatever, man. But with comedy, there is that urge to freestyle. Like, it's like, oh shit, I got a new one. This one might, it might come out and it's not what you wanted to say. And you listen back to it later if you get the chance to record it, and you're like, ooh, shit, that's completely not what the fuck I wanted to say.
Yeah. So here comes the deep water. Y'all ready? I
Jump
told
in,
you,
man.
motherfuckers, I was gonna
pants
say
are
some
up.
shit.
Brian,
Well,
would you be kind enough to hand me that energy drink there?
I'm
Energy
gonna,
drink, real quick. Can I interject super quick?
Of
yeah.
course.
Yeah, this one right here.
Thank you, sir.
This
Yep,
Oh, yeah.
It's empty.
Oh, and-
Yeah, that's good.
okay, no, I was gonna say that reminded me of Richard Pryor and man, I can't remember what the other.
Red Fox.
No, not
Because
Red
everybody
Fox.
parallels with Richard Pryor was Red Fox.
No. It
Oh.
it was
You talking about the album title he changed?
Oh.
I don't know about that. Oh, you know what? He
that's a good
probably
one.
did because it was Richard Pryor.
Yeah, that's a
and
good one.
I forgot his buddy's name. Another black comedian. They were both talking about how they stopped using the N word after a while because they didn't feel right about
Paul
it.
Mooney?
Thank you.
Paul Mooney.
Paul Mooney.
It was Paul
Yeah.
Mooney.
Thank you for that interjection,
We
bro.
finna get to that. Let's get to that.
That's where I was going.
They were gonna go into that.
So deep water. Y'all ready? So
Hold on, let me get this beer real quick.
Okay, so yeah, that's something I'm gonna touch, but I'm gonna let him come back, cause yeah, it's look. I don't mind touching. I will say this. I don't mind touching this subject because I know where I stand. I know who I am.
Yeah.
We touched this subject last night a little bit with Paul.
Right. Right.
Yeah. So and I will give you my stance because I've been questioned a lot about this because when I'm on stage, I'm very pushy, man. I test my limits. I irk people because I talk about shit that a lot of people don't talk about. You know what I mean? So and maybe that's why I get a lot of backlash. But this was my question. Like, well, I'll give you my perspective before you answer, just so you know where I stand. But as far as, and then I'm gonna go to you because I'm also glad you brought that up. And we gotta.
You're walking up to this slow, Freddy. Like,
Yeah.
You're approaching it real fucking careful.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
He's like, hold up. All right, go ahead.
How do you feel about other rappers and just other people in general, man, using that word? We heard Bill Maher do it. How do you feel? And then I'm gonna tell you what I think. But go ahead.
Well, my shit might be longer. You know what I'm saying? Like, my explanation, how I feel, might be a little longer than yours. You don't want to tell me yours?
Yeah, I can tell you real quick.
Go ahead.
Mine's fucking simple.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I believe if you're not black, you don't have the right to use it because of the fact that you're not black. It's like with white folks. I feel there's certain shit that I can't. Not that I can't, but there's certain shit that I wouldn't say towards a white person or whatever, because that's it. If they say it, if they use it, that's cool, because it's them. You know what I'm saying? With as far as that word, I'll be honest with you, man. I feel uncomfortable when other people, like one of the rappers that comes to mind that uses it very freely, and he does make me feel a certain kind of way, is that hair-colored dumbass tattooed face.
I know you're talking about, yeah.
That one
Yeah,
dude.
Takashi.
I-
Yeah. 6ix9ine or
He was
whatever.
trying not to say his name.
Right? He's just like Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
No, I don't mind. I honestly
Yeah.
didn't remember his name because I've
Yeah.
never heard his music. But this dude in his interviews, he's Mexican. He uses it real freely, like, you know what I'm saying? And he uses, and with me, he had an interview on the Breakfast Club, and he kept calling Charlemagne
yeah.
that shit. And Charlemagne, I got pissed off with him because he didn't put a stop to it.
Yeah.
I would have stopped that
Yeah.
dude in his tracks.
Look,
you know
it's
what I
funny
mean?
though. Thing is, though, hold on. See, with Tekashi 6ix9ine, man, he's from, where's he from? Brooklyn?
Mexico.
No, he's
No.
from Brooklyn.
Oh, but he's Mexican.
Yeah.
Oh, he's
And like,
Hispanic,
look,
yeah.
man, like to answer your question, how I feel, I'm in the same boat. You know what I'm saying? If you ain't black, don't say it. Like me, while we sitting here right here, it won't come out my mouth.
It did.
You know what I'm
though.
saying? It did. Be, how many times did it take?
Yeah.
The second time.
Right.
The first time I edited, I self-censored myself.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So the second time I was like, fuck it, let me just say it, so y'all really get get what I was actually saying.
That's actually
Right.
what you said when you
You know what
said
I'm
it
saying?
again. You were like,
Yeah.
let me
Right.
give you context of
So
how
there
it
it
is.
is. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So if you ain't black, don't say it.
Yeah.
And that's, I'm old school like that, just like a lot of other people are. But now we in a new age, which I don't condone. You know what I'm saying? But at the same time, dude is from there, right?
So?
You like Fat Joe?
Yeah.
Like Fat Joe?
Oh no, I
You know Fat Joe though, right?
I know him,
Puerto
but
Rican, right?
yeah,
Say nigga all the time, right?
Yeah.
Big pun.
yeah, and
So
I don't
nigga all the
agree
time.
with it.
Yeah, but see, I'm not from New York, right?
It doesn't matter.
No, it kind of does, because that's the only spot where that's kind of acceptable for them to say that shit.
I
For
disagree.
you can't disagree with me. Like that's,
Yeah.
that's them.
No, and
that's
but I
them.
that's
them,
what I'm
right.
saying.
All right, let me
I-
throw an
so that
example in
shit-
there, man. I brought up Immortal Technique earlier, man. He actually he walks through why he used it. He's like, yeah, man, I have like African slave DNA in me. Like that's like he actually has like an emotional attachment to the word and an argument for it. You know what I mean? And you can disagree with him, but the motherfucker, I mean, he believes what he believes.
No, and that's fine, but this is where I was going. That's fine. I'm not gonna go to the dude and be. I'm not gonna tell any grown man how to talk. If that's how you talk, that's you. I don't agree with it. That's fine.
I mean, I'm gonna try to tell him how you can talk to me or talk around me.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
tell
think
him.
that's
I
fine,
mean,
yeah.
you know what I'm saying? Like, I won't be no dick about it because I ain't trying
So
to. You
why
know,
can't I say it?
huh?
Why can't I say it?
Because you're not black, right?
No, that's not
Was this
what I-
entire
Wait, hold on,
conversation? Are you
No,
trying to?
No, that's not what
Yeah.
I'm
What
saying.
you mean? What you mean?
Why can't I? Why can't I tell him? Why can't I tell him not to say it? Me.
You can.
Like if
That
somebody
I
feel
feel
like-
uncomfortable when they use it. Like if I were to say,
Okay.
if they say it
Oh,
and I
you
say,
can. You can't like if they're talking
Yeah.
amongst each other and you're like, yo, I don't really like that, man. You can. You know what I'm saying? See what the reaction is.
Yeah,
You know
absolutely.
what I'm saying? Because then it turns into a respect thing.
exactly.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like for instance, man. Like I'm gonna be honest with you, man. Back in the day, you know, I had this one good buddy, and I didn't want to hang out with him at first because, you know, he said nigga a lot, like, oh nigga this nigga that right, and I told my girl at the time, like, you know, I don't want to hang out with dude, you know what I'm saying, because, you know, I don't like that. Well, he got wind, I guess, of it, and we got up and hung out, and he didn't say it one time around me.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And that's because, you know, hey, well, if he don't like me saying that, guess what? I won't say it then.
Yeah.
He became one of my good buddies. At the crib every day, we chill, Chief, play the game. You know what I'm saying? Scott, you know who you are, man. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? So and we was thick and thin. We was good. And he didn't say it. Now if I'm like, hey man, can you chill? Can you chill with that N-word shit? I don't even gotta say N-word, man. Like, hey man, can you not say that? Just in a friendly way.
Yeah.
And if they're like, and if they feel a certain way about it, like, oh, what you mean? Well, I can't say it. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
nah, like, what the fuck you want to say it for, anyways?
Yeah.
You know what I'm
think you
saying?
find
And they're
out
like,
more.
why would say it anyways?
Okay. The
I
reason.
don't want to be. I don't want to be around dude.
The reason.
We're gonna have a problem, or we gonna walk away. I'm
Well,
gonna
this,
walk
Right,
away.
this
yeah.
goes back
Yeah.
to the whole self-censorship thing. You find out real quick why a motherfucker is using a specific word in a conversation if you check
So-
you're not even to check if it's just like you be
No,
like,
and that's
hey
why I
man,
don't
why
like to call it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
I
if you
don't
call
like
it
to call
out,
like
it's-
that. Like, I don't like to call it checking you. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't like. Oh man, I had
No,
checked,
that's
dude.
why.
You
That's
feel what I'm saying?
I
Like,
checked myself there, man. Like I
But
pulled
I
that
don't,
back.
I don't like that. Like, if I don't like it, I'm gonna tell you. As a man, I'm gonna tell you, like, man, can you not say that no
Yeah,
more?
yeah,
And they're gonna be
exactly.
like,
And
and
then-
I get, you know what? On some real shit, I get the same reaction every time.
Oh yeah.
What you mean? Well, for real?
Yeah.
All right, well, shit.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
dead. It's
Yeah.
dead. They don't be like, well, I never have
No,
to go
but
into
you know-
look. I never have to go into why we shouldn't be saying it. You know what I'm saying? I never have to
Yeah.
get to no fucking history lesson or none of that shit because
Yeah.
it stops right there.
I think
You know what
the
I mean?
people who like still like try to fight to like, oh, let me use it, or just like
Bruh.
real ignorant. It's like, look, man, I don't feel comfortable around it. Just if you have a problem with making me feel comfortable, then just get away from me. Or like, or I'll get away. It's as simple as that.
Oh yeah, you
Yeah.
find out a person's motivations towards like your own sensibility. Like, hey man, like I'd rather you not do that. If you're going to continue to do that, that tells me that you don't give a shit what the fuck I'm
Yeah,
thinking.
Exactly.
it definitely shows your kind of your character.
So-
And real quick, that just reminds me of like, people like Hispanics throw that word around like nothing. Like at least a lot of
some
them.
are- yeah, yeah.
They use it.
No, I
because
agree.
they're like, oh, they use it like
agree.
friend and this and that.
I-
And for
I-
me, it's weird. Honestly, I think And as ignorant as this sounds, it wasn't until I heard and saw a white guy from, I think, where was it, like Corpus or something, say the word. It was the first, and there's not a lot of white people down here, and even so, they don't, like, I've never seen one use it down here. When I saw that white guy say it, I mean, I'd hear my friends say it, and I'd be like, whatever, like, I know they're not racist, so I'd be like, whatever about it, you know? I'd be like, okay, cool. But when I saw this guy, I don't know the guy at all. I just met the guy, and I was like, it like felt weird for me. I was like, is he saying that? He was excited to say it too. He wasn't even just like, oh, let me be quiet. He's like, nah. I was like, oh my god, this guy
shit roll naturally.
Yeah, he was just so energetic about saying it. I was like, good, like why? Like why do you need to say this word? Like it felt wrong for me. I was like, is he? Like, what is it? Like, are you actually racist? Do you really want to say, like,
That's
what
what
is
motherfuckers be
it?
saying, man. They be like, oh, I'm not racist though. Like, I know that, motherfucker. I know you're saying the A at the end. I get it.
Yeah,
you know,
exactly.
You're not saying ER. If you say ER, then we have another issue. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you're saying, nigga, hey, my nigga, like, bro, like, for what? Why you want to be a nigga? See, that goes back to like,
I've heard
the
that.
New York
Yeah.
shit. You know what I'm saying? The New York shit. Like, there's no black folks down here like that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're 91% Hispanic down here.
Yeah.
So there's no excuse like, oh, I grew up with some niggas, man. I can, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Tekashi 6ix9ine, he might because that's he's in that same environment where he's getting harassed by the police and all the other type of shit that goes along with it. And he's you know that's that. But down here, bro, there ain't no black folks down here like that.
That's still
It's like 0.9%. I looked it up.
You know what?
Yeah.
That's actually really interesting. You saying that because that reminds me of. So, a lot of what I try to get across in my stand up is that even though I am Chinese and Mexican, I don't really feel like that Asian. Like I don't feel like I'm a part of the Asian community at all. And I don't, dude.
The way he said it, he's like, I'm not a part of them at all.
I'm not, dude. No, it's funny because like the thing is, here in the valley, there's already barely like, any Asians. You'll see some mostly Filipinos and some like Koreans and then Chinese, etc.
Asians is blacks though.
There is. That's so true. No, but
that.
dude, check this out.
true.
But being mixed, being Chinese and Mexican, I don't get welcomed exactly into the Asian community. And I've actually talked about this with other mixed people, to where it's like they don't exactly see you as another. I mean, I've been accepted mostly into the Filipino community, but like, yeah, because they're like, oh, brown Asian, oh, must be Filipino. Sure enough, they always ask me. But anytime I see a Chinese guy, he doesn't look at me as another Chinese guy. He looks at me as like a Mexican. You know, and then with the Mexicans, they always see me as El Chino, even though I don't feel like El Chino. It's always weird, and I don't even feel that Mexican. Even when I try to feel Mexican, like I am Mexican, I don't get accepted.
Yeah.
So, wait, hold on, real quick. I need to keep going on this. So I never felt like any of those. And then I watched this movie, Ip Man, where there's a white guy who speaks fluent Mandarin, just fluent Chinese, and I was like, wow, that's so weird. My dad's like, yeah, I know that guy. He actually grew up in China. And I was like, wow, that guy's more Chinese than I am. Like, if someone came up to me and asked me, who, you know, like about that guy, I'd be like, oh, that Chinese guy over there? Yeah, I know that guy. I know who you're talking about. I think a lot of it has to do with the culture you're surrounded by. That really, it's not really just your skin or your blood. It's really who you grew up with.
Yeah.
You know, so I think that's what Keynote was getting at with Tekashi. He grew up with that environment, with that kind of person.
To rebuttal to both of your points is real quick, and then it leads me into where I was really going with this. I disagree respectfully. I don't give a fuck who you grew up with. Just because you grew up there, it doesn't give you the right to do it. That's just the way I feel. I'm glad and at ease that you, as a black man that I respect, like that you feel that way and that's your point of view. But I still disagree. I still disagree with it.
Well, that goes to the larger conversation which you brought up last night, which is like racial epithets and slurs in general. Like, I mean, is there any context in which any of them are socially acceptable?
That Bill Maher shit. Hey, that was a funny ass. That was funny. I ain't gonna lie to you. That shit was funny, but it was kind of like, dog, why you ain't gotta say it?
He knew exactly what he was doing. Like that guy that he had in front of him.
Yeah.
He did that. Yeah, man. I think don't get me wrong.
Slick. It was witty.
I didn't hear.
It's one of those situations where you go, it was witty.
Yeah.
You said it perfectly.
No, but look, this is where I was going with it. This is where I was going with it. And I'm going to tie back into that conversation of last night. do you feel, and both of you, because you're half Chinese and you're half Mexican.
Yeah.
I'm half black and I'm half white.
You just made the conversation that much more interesting.
Did you?
Not really.
That's funny.
So this is where I'm going.
Regular mixed.
So,
Yeah.
so
Most common
do
mixed.
you think and do you feel that people, and I'll keep this short, the question short, do you think or feel that people, artists, comedian, whoever it is, should lose their job and career because they've used that slur?
Whoa. No. Not at all. I mean,
So they did Roseanne wrong.
well, nah, that's different. I feel.
That's different, man. Like,
Because the thing with Roseanne was, okay, let's just say she did it on purpose. She knew that person was black. That was straight up like,
I feel she did
That
it
was
on
ignorance.
purpose, just
That
throwing
was-
it out there. I feel she did it on purpose, just throwing it out there.
yeah, I mean,
very
yeah, exactly. It's like if you feel she did that on purpose, then yeah, I mean, it's what you get. It's kind of like people bring up the First Amendment. It's like, yeah, it's her right to do that. It's like, all right, she has the right to do it, but she also, she has to realize there's also consequences with what you say.
Exactly.
If you tell
Exactly.
if you tell an authority figure
Yeah.
certain things,
Yeah.
you're not going to just get away with it because it's a First Amendment right.
Exactly.
Well, also it was like, all right, she's playing. All right, if she had insulted a viewer, which technically speaking anybody's a possible viewer, but she also insulted somebody who's involved in politics. It's not like she was shitting on another fucking like celebrity. If that had been
Right.
like some Hollywood shit, on you go, that's bad taste. But I mean, y'all are fair game. You know what I mean? But yeah, the fact that she's shooting at politicians it's like
Yeah.
that's ABC, man. That's
Right.
that. Yeah, they're not going to
Yeah.
fuck around. Disney does not want
No.
you picking fights with the
Yeah.
government.
Yeah, and I guess I could compare this to like sort of like I mean Sarah Silverman one time I just found that recently. She made a joke about liking chinks. I mean that compared to like that's kind of funny. I thought it was funny the joke she made. I can't remember and she made a joke about that. Now that compared to Roseanne comparing a black person to an ape. It's just like, okay, those are two completely, you can't just say they're the exact same thing, They're like, okay, there's like level 1 racism, then there's level 10 racism.
How do you feel about the word like when they say chinks in the armor?
Chinks in the armor?
How do you feel about that one?
I'm fine with that.
Oh, yeah,
Like,
'cause I wouldn't say
chink-
that.
no, chinks
You know
in
what
the
I'm
armor.
saying?
No,
'Cause
yeah.
It's a racial slur.
It's a racial
Yeah.
slur, yeah.
Like I'm not racist at all, man. I would never
Yeah.
make no kind of real jokes. You know what I'm saying? I would never like the spick and span. When people say I want that shit spick and span, I'll
Yeah.
never say that shit
Yeah.
because
It has the word
it's,
in it.
yeah, you know what I'm saying?
Okay,
I know
yeah.
it's silly and shit, but like, nah, I just
So-
won't say it, man, because it's
So
like nigger knocking. You gonna go around nigger knocking?
Oh God, yeah.
Fuck the nigger knocking. Like who
Right.
says that? Like what the fuck? I don't want to hear that
Yeah,
shit.
Yeah,
that one
exactly.
sound like
You know?
for
So-
me like chink because the thing is like chink does have more than one meaning. Like originally, like or I don't know about originally. I can't really say. I don't have a dictionary, but I know it does mean other things. Like you said, chink,
it's
chink in the arm.
expression meaning a flaw in your shit. You know?
Right,
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
But if someone
Yeah.
were to call me a chink, obviously that's different.
That's
like,
different,
and when I hear spick and span, I hear the word, but I don't
You thinking clean
immediately.
shit.
Yeah, exactly. I don't like equate it like immediately to
Yeah.
that.
So watch how I'm gonna bring all this shit back and come back to my original point.
Nailed the dismount, Freddy.
Yeah. So it comes back to your performance. Your performance as a rapper, your performance as a comedian, your performance as a comedian, my performance as a comedian. This is what I mean. So how and I'm not saying it's different, I'm not saying it's alike, I want your opinion, that's why I'm asking. How do you feel it's different or how do you feel it's alike for me to go up on stage and say a black joke in context? And I'll give you an example because I
Well, if you say a black joke, an acceptable black joke would be not no Michael Richards shit. You know what I'm saying? like he was actually saying shit like for real. Now if you was talking about on some stereotypical shit like Man, I met this black coworker and shit. Yo, this motherfucker always ate watermelon. Yeah, okay, we get it. That's a stereotypical joke. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes it's true. That those jokes are fine.
Well,
But you
there's
can't be like,
let
yo,
me-
we hung that fucking black ass. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
That's
Well,
it.
there's
Well,
also the
yeah.
distinction. Are you doing a
like
joke
okay, like
about
a cowboy
black-
movie, like a cowboy movie, like oh yeah, man, what happened to Leroy? Oh, we hung that nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
that's the joke. Like that's,
Yeah.
So-
that's not a joke.
So no.
Right.
So let me bring it back in context because I had a black
yeah,
it
black
was
friend.
real shit. But it was again. I talk about real shit. I talk about my real experiences. It was a it's not even y'all give me your judgment. I had a bit. I performed in California. Half of the room cheered, the other half booed the fuck out of me.
Okay.
Right. So this was the bit. I'm not gonna sit here and tell you the whole story. I'm just gonna run it by you. All I said is that I used to date a black woman, and she invited me to a barbecue, and she said, "Hey, come over to my barbecue." Again, this chick said, "Come over, we having a barbecue." She did not tell me. This is true shit. She did not tell me that she was inviting me to her family reunion. So I fucking stood out. You know, I'm walking through the backyard and I'm the lightest motherfucker there. You know what I mean? So everybody looking at me and stuff. And she runs up to her brother. This is exactly how it happened, but this is a joke as well. So she ran up to her brother and everything. She had 3 brothers. Hey, how you doing? Whatever. And as soon as her brother saw me, he was like, "Who's that?" And she was like, "That's my date." And he was like, "What you mean date?" That's exactly what he said, you know? So he's like, that's the person that I'm with, you know, chill out, you know, whatever, relax. And then this dude literally turned around. Like, I was literally right here, bro. He hugged her, turned around like this. I could still hear him. And he told her, "You know he light-skinned, right?" And then I told him, I was like, "Hey, bro, I'm right here. I can hear you. Is there a problem? Like, do I need to leave?" And he was like, "Oh, so like he's trying to get jumpy now." And I was like, "No, I'm just asking you, like, if there's a problem, whatever, right?" So then I keep walking, and her grandfather came out. Her grandfather was 87 years old. He came up. I had never met this dude in my life, Larry. For the record, I love Larry. I got to know him, whatever. You know, he came out. As soon as this dude saw me, he said, from far away across the yard, he said, Hey, Snowflake, let me hold $20, Snowflake, let me hold $20. But I didn't want to be a dick about it, right? I didn't want to be an asshole. I ain't taking no way. And I went along with him, and I told him, "Oh, man, I ain't got it, man. I ain't got nothing." And he looked at me, and he's like, "Oh, come on, Snowflake. I know you get a disability check." And then he said,
Nice.
"I get one too, but I wasted all of mine on weed and shit." So, and that was the joke. But you know, half of the people were kind of like,
Should I laugh? Should I not?
Should I not? You know what I'm saying? And the other half just like straight out boo me.
Yeah.
And all I had to say, well, I mean, there's another piece that I said after that piece. I said, "Fuck y'all, that's funny." I mean, you don't have to laugh. I think it's funny, because the other thing that I said was that, and this is true too. Me and this dude used to get like into these crazy conversations because we used to sit out front. I used to get drunk, and he used to get high as fuck, you know. So as soon as he got real high, he started telling me these conversations and shit. And I remember one time he came up to me and he was like, "Oh, by the way, ever since we met, everywhere we went, bro, this dude never called me by my name. We be at Walmart. Hey, Snowflake, can you get me down there, man? I can't bend over, man. Can you get?" So I go get it, whatever. And so one time we're sitting there and he comes in. He's like, "Hey, Snowflake, hey, man, let me ask you something. I know you say you're Mexican, right?" And I was like, "Yeah, man, last time I checked, I am Mexican." "No, man, I don't believe that. I think you have some black in you." And again, I didn't want to be a dick about it, so I was like, "Oh, man, you know what? I think you're right. I think my uncle was I think my uncle was great uncles with cousins with Michael Jackson." And he looked at me and he's like, "Oh, snowflake! Michael Jackson ain't been black since the day before forever, man." So I told them that, and they were still kind of like on the fence about it. And then that's when I said, "Oh man, fuck y'all. That's funny. I think that's funny to me." So back to the original question. That was my joke. That's about the only black reference joke that I think I've done. Do you think jokes in that type of context, coming from any other race or myself or whatever, are
They cool. They cool. I mean, it's your job is to tell jokes. You know what I'm saying? And some people get upset. They catch feelings. And they want to fight you and shit for that shit, right? But man, like it's, what's weird is because, I mean, we make white jokes, we make Mexican jokes.
Yeah.
You seen black comics do that?
Yeah.
yeah.
You see Mexican comics do that? You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah.
George Lopez, does he make like any kind of
He-
joke?
yeah,
You know what
couple,
I'm saying?
yeah, I think,
It's not too
yeah.
racial. It's just
No,
it's a
no.
stereotype, right? It's weird, man. I don't see white folks make racial jokes at all.
No.
like
They-
I really don't.
Some have.
You find
Like
them.
really?
Yeah.
Because I don't.
Yeah.
I was thinking about the shit the other day. Like they don't be like, man. So this black dude I work with, right? Like you don't see that shit.
Right.
I do.
Yeah, or maybe because you're on the comedian world, so
Yeah.
Yeah.
Nah, I
Yeah.
don't. I don't.
There's just some comedians that do, yeah.
Yeah.
Probably just a few that.
But
But
see,
they go about.
the funny part is I can't think of one off the top of my head. That's the
and they
funny-
bold with it though. Like, well, there's also a difference though. Like, there's been white comics on BT, you know what I'm saying, who are with the culture and shit. So they're like, they're comfortable saying some black shit. Like Gary Owens, you know what I'm saying? He says some black shit.
Yeah. Well, 'cause he's-
Nobody look at him like he's racist.
I was about to bring Gary Owens up as an example when you
And
said
he's-
that.
Hold on. I don't know if you've seen him on TMZ lately in the past couple of months and shit. He's been catching a lot of heat because people have been saying that he's getting too comfortable talking about black people, and they keep
He's saying
saying
the N word.
no.
Then he all right. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Fuck
So,
it. You know what I'm saying?
but-
He ain't out
but
there like,
they-
yo, my
they-
niggas now accept
they-
me. Like, hold on.
They keep saying that it's because they're starting to feel that he's getting too comfortable, and this is exactly what they said. They said he's getting too comfortable because he feels that just because he's married to a black woman, it gives him the right to talk about that freely or whatever.
Right.
But he doesn't use the N word. He doesn't even talk in a degrading way.
I'm married to a Mexican woman. You know what I'm saying? So, like, we make jokes.
Yeah, but you don't count because you have.
Yeah, that's true indeed.
Nah,
you know
I'm
what I'm
fucking
saying?
with you.
Damn. Nah, but
All
we
these
make
qualifications.
jokes. we make jokes, man, and it's
Now, when it comes to your music, do you feel it goes back to what we were originally talking about? When it comes to your music in your artistry, do you feel that the same thing? Do you feel that there's shit that you can't say because you're like, oh, these people, because they're from here or this race or whatever, they might receive it this way or whatever, or that's like never in your head?
no, it is. I remember like we live in a sensitive world now. You know what I'm saying? Like
Under this administration, bro,
Yeah.
everything's so brittle, dude.
I mean, I
It's
used to say
like,
faggot back in the day.
This is the crest of a wave, man. I mean, this is kind of been coming in and out since the late '90s, man. It got
Yeah.
kind of weird and
not like this.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong. I'll give you that, man. I think the whole situation's kind of forced to a head because you got extremes on both sides, kind of screaming as
Absolutely.
loud as they can.
Yeah.
You know, real quick, I'll tell you, as the youngest one, I probably got a good perspective on this.
You're the
I'm
youngest
definitely
one?
not.
Lay
I'm
it
the
on us,
youngest
Bryan.
one. Yeah,
Holy
man. I'm only
fuck.
22 years old.
Holy shit. Huh?
I'm 21.
Yeah, definitely. So he's. the
Are you
youngest-
21?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought I was the youngest. I
Bullshit,
figured.
man.
Okay,
But-
sophomore.
I am.
drop it
I'm
on.
always.
Damn, he
yeah.
believe that shit. I was
I
like,
was, no, you for a second. I was like, "How old are you?"
Man,
man?
hold on, you 21. You had a hard life, bro.
Honestly, man. Honestly, I was about to keep my mouth shut. I did keep my mouth shut. I was like, "Oh, god damn, I'm sorry." That's hard, man. Talk about hard. No, but you brought up the word fag, and I mean, I used it. I occasionally I still use it. But I think it's one of those things. Again, it's kind of like for them, it's like you don't know who's homophobic You know, I think it's one of those
Right.
things too. Just like you don't know who's racist when you're using certain words. You're like, you know, when you hear like I said, when I heard that white guy from Corpus from up there say that word, it was the first time I'd heard someone I don't know say it so excitingly. I was like, I don't know you. I don't know who you are, who you're about. Like, I mean, what you're about. I don't know if you're racist. So you using that word, especially the way you're using it, it makes me feel uncomfortable. Yeah. That's what I was thinking. So I think when people hear you say the word fag, it's the same thing because they don't know, because there's still a lot of like really homophobic people. So they're like, he's saying it, but what is he really saying? You know what I'm saying?
Because I used to be like, yo, you shut your faggot ass up, man. You know what I'm saying, with your homies and shit like that. But then after people were like, you know what, this is why it's offensive.
Right.
Guess what? I stopped saying it. You know what I'm saying? I don't need to, you know.
Yeah.
I don't need to say. I can think of a different word. I'm not ignorant.
I've already figured out that I'm the black sheep of this fucking group.
Yeah. You still use the word, eh?
Not that I use it, but I don't use it not because I feel that way. I just I haven't found the necessity to.
Oh, you don't use it.
Yeah, no, I've used it before, but I used it like you said, man. Shut your faggot ass up or whatever.
Right.
But I've never, and it's like I told that lady that got on my ass because I said retarded.
Right.
And I told her I was like, I'm not gonna. Number one, I'm not gonna apologize. Apparently, you haven't seen me. Yeah. That's one thing. Second thing is, I didn't mean to offend you. Right. You took it that way, and that's on you. I can't make you see it a different way. But just because you feel a certain way, why do I have to change my artistry? Now, It goes back to what I was telling you, Sean. Under this administration, bro, everything is so brittle. You can't say this. You can't, like, why can't I say? Why can't I say retarded? But your president can say, "Go ahead and grab him by the pussy."
Well, here's the thing: the same people that are yelling at you about saying retarded are the same people that are yelling about Trump saying "grab her by the pussy." It's just
yes, they are.
No, it's the same people. It's the thing is, it doesn't affect him because he doesn't live, in the world, man. That guy lives in a fantasy land. Like you actually live amongst people. Like if you're on stage and you say, retarded. And somebody comes after you, up to you after the show and is like, "Hey, I don't like the fact that you said that." You can't like throw a bodyguard in front of you and walk out the back door, man. Like you have to actually walk out through people, man. You know what I'm saying?
It happened one time. I had a show back home one time, and the chorus was like,
"Where's back home for the people listening?"
Oh, I'm from Iowa. You know what I'm saying? I'm from the Midwest, Cedar Rapids, Iowa, and I had a show in Iowa City, Iowa. One of my few, I really got popping down here. Really, this is where I did the most of my shows down here in the valley. But the chorus is something like, "I put it in the pussy, niggas acting feminine," and that was the chorus. You know what I'm saying? And at the end of the show, two girls came and tried to check me. You know what I'm saying? Like, what you mean by what you said? Yeah, acting feminine. And I was just like caught off guard, like. For real? My lyric made you feel this way? Like, oh, I didn't mean to, you know what I'm saying? I just meant like soft. And when you say that, you're like, what you mean soft now? Yeah. And it's just like, oh shit. So, I try to, like, I don't want to stir controversy like that.
Yeah.
When it's unneeded with my music. Like, I stir controversy if I drop like Black in America. One of my songs that I have when I discuss some shit about, what's going on in the world. You know what I mean? That'll be the only time.
Real quick, Freddie, I think I'll answer.
I actually had controversy about the N-word in one of my songs recently. You feel me? So
yeah.
Oh yeah.
And just real quick, so because I think you're gonna bounce off the point I'm gonna make real quick, and this is how I'll end at least my argument on this part. But this is why I'm so fucking like anal about this. Because, and again, I'm speaking for myself and nobody else. I see my platform as exactly that. I see my platform as I have a voice and I have a microphone, and I'm building my platform. I want to use my platform to inspire people. The way you take it, I can't control it. I mean it one way. If you took it another way, again, that's on you. That's not my responsibility. I didn't tell you, and this is just an example. I'm not saying that's what we're talking about. But I didn't say, "Hey, Keynote, grab a gun, go shoot that dude." I didn't say that. But if I said something of like, it's okay to carry a gun, I said it's okay to carry a gun. I didn't say get the gun and shoot that guy. I'm saying if you took it that way, that's on you. My point is that I feel like I have a platform. I feel like I have a point of view, and I feel that I can make a difference. So why am I going to change the point that I'm trying to get across just because you took it a different way?
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Now I can re-explain it to you and be like, "Hey, man, I didn't say retarded to offend your sister." Oh, that's the other fucking thing. She said she got offended because she wasn't retarded. She had a mentally ill sister, and I was like, well, I mean, I still didn't apologize, but I did say I didn't mean it the way you took it. You know what I'm saying? Like that's all I'm saying. And I feel that if I change that, then you're killing my whole point of the point that I'm trying to get across.
Okay, man. I'd like to elaborate on that kind of idea a little bit, but Brian, go ahead, man.
Go ahead.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna address the Trump thing super quick because I think that's an easy wrap up. Because you asked why people complain about you using retarded, but not him saying grab her by the pussy. But like Sean said, actually the people who people who complain about you saying that, that's probably the same type that complained about Trump saying that. Because and I'm about to just clump it up because it's usually either liberals or conservatives, so it'll make the conversation easier. Liberals, yeah, absolutely, they'll complain about you using certain words, especially like retarded. But those same liberals are going to be feminists also, very likely, or just people in general who are just like, did you say grab her by the pussy? That's not right. So those are the same people who are complaining. So no, he can get away with it in a sense. Like he shouldn't be able to, but the thing is, like Sean said, he can just get a bodyguard in front of him. So it sucks, but I mean,
But what I'm saying is like, why you fucking with me?
No,
Well,
I mean,
dude,
no, but they're
if
tweeting
anything,
about
man,
him.
It's even funnier in the situation because he chooses to like go on Twitter and engage with some of these people that are fucking throwing shit at him. And I mean, don't get me wrong, he's blocking people, which is, I think there's a court case still going on about him blocking a journalist. And it's like, well,
that's hilarious.
technically speaking, isn't your tweet, like, I think they legally defined the tweet as a presidential like announcement. Like that's a statement from the president, which is hilarious considering the spelling mistakes. But
Right.
what I was going to say was, I think it's even a little more complicated than that, man. You'll have people in the middle, man, that will, all right, they might make the same decision, say, not choosing not to use the word retarded, but for different reasons. Whereas someone who's more liberally minded is going to be like I don't want to hurt people, and the person that's more conservatively minded might be like, well, I know people feel hurt by this, so I don't want to disrupt like the community, so I'm not going to do it. You know what I mean? You get different thought patterns on it, but you wind up at the same reasonable decision.
Yeah, see, that's interesting you mentioned that because, so I'm going to bring up something I don't think people nowadays think about when it comes to these labels, liberal and conservative. A lot of people, when they hear conservative, what do you typically think of?
Conservation.
Yeah, well, yeah, but like, I mean, the things you see online, like when you're like, oh, I'm about to talk to some liberal or some prude.
Oh,
yeah,
he's talking about like this language shift that's going on.
The language shift that's going on, yeah.
It's like I said, conservatives, GOP, the Republicans. And it's like,
Right.
whoa, hold on. You're talking about different things here. You know what I
Right.
mean?
Yeah. Well, like in a sense, nowadays, what I'm getting at.
Thin line. That's what
Okay,
I'm
it's fair to say
now,
that any Republican is probably a conservative. If they're not, then they're crazy.
Right,
But that's
'cause
got something
nowadays
to do
there's-
with how
nowadays
fucked up
there's
the parties
no-
are.
Exactly.
Like, all right, the Democrats right now are doing like a purity pledge thing where it's like if you want to run as a Democrat, you have to sign a paper that says I identify as a Democrat and I completely support the Democratic.
Wait, I identify. That's trans talk, man. Don't say
the Democratic Party. I just said that, man.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're trying to get out people who are kind of basically hiding under the banner of Democrat. Which, to be fair, the I hope it works for them. You know what I mean? Because I'm one of these people. I don't think we're any better for having two major parties that get to basically. Which way I think you're going, man, where it's like you identify the Republicans as conservatives, but they're conservatives that would fucking run screaming for the hills if the Republican dream was ever implemented.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, what I was also just going to get at was just that, nowadays when you think conservatives, you think these these prudes who are just like, oh, all of you are snowflakes, And so like that's why I bring up liberals. I got kind of lost for a second actually.
Shit,
See, words are confusing.
Yeah,
That-
words are
that's-
confusing. Yeah.
I think
But
that
what was
my-
another thing I was gonna run off of you? Oh yeah, but you using the word retarded, man. If you feel like that's what you need to like, get this message across.
No,
it's
the,
like
the thing is, and the only reason why I won't let it go because it's me. That's because it's me. Like that's my material. That's
yeah,
me.
absolutely.
But the thing is that the other thing is like I told Sean last night. That's my joke, man. And the thing is that joke kills every time.
Yeah.
So it's like I feel that you're taking my weapons away.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Well,
So
All right,
so
well,
that-
let me get philosophical with it for a little bit, man. All right, think of it like this, man. When it comes to, let's just say, ethnic, racial stuff like that, that's shit you cannot control. Not only can you not control it, but you can't cross that line. It's not like you can, I think I'm gonna be, Mongolian today. It's
Yeah.
not gonna.
Yeah.
Whereas, like, all right. For example, and with retarded, it's running the edge, man. But like, fat people, fucking tall people, short people, whatever on that spectrum, it's like, okay, maybe not tall and short.
Yeah.
There you might have
no, because you have little people, and now from what I've heard,
okay. Well,
Oh,
this
yeah,
goes.
you're right.
What I
This
heard
goes to where I was going to
is
say.
you can't say little people no more.
It's not
Oh,
little people no more.
bullshit.
It's not
Yeah.
little people.
Oh,
Bullshit.
yeah, no,
What
look,
is- that's-
hold on. I'm not bullshitting. Look it up. You
Oh,
can't say
hell
little
no.
people
What
no
the
more.
fuck are you supposed to say?
There is an actual specific
Oh,
term
really?
that they have.
Dwarf?
You cannot,
Is it dwarf?
No, you
No,
can't
not
say
dwarf.
dwarf either.
You can't
No,
say
you
that
can say
neither.
dwarf.
No, you can't. You
midget
cannot
was
say.
midget was the shit.
Oh,
Okay.
no, no.
Midget was the shit.
Midget was cool as shit, and it's still a cool
love
ass
it, yeah.
word, right?
That's a cool
but then they
word,
say you
yeah.
can't say that shit no more. It's like a midget.
I'm
but it's a
sorry. I'm
midget,
sorry.
though.
Hold on. I correct
Okay, well,
myself. I correct myself because
Uh-huh.
there's people listening. It's midget that you can say. Dwarf, I'm not too
Nah,
sure.
That's a
yeah.
technical term.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
that's
that's
a-
like retarded, where retarded was the technical. It used to be moron, and then they were like, well, people are using that kind of fucked up.
Look,
There's a whole
Because the
joke.
thing
This
is,
is-
okay,
this
real
is-
quick. The word retard is to slow down. That's why it's not even like
Yeah.
Th-
to
this is-
retard something. And I just want to finish real quick
Yeah.
because I think you think that I'm disagreeing with you being
No,
able to
no,
use
I
that
don't.
word.
I don't.
Okay, cool. Yeah, because I was gonna say I think all you needed to do with that woman is explain to her exactly like you're using it as a weapon. Like that's how
No,
some black.
that would have been worse. If I would have said that, she would have clawed my ass.
Well, no,
alive.
okay.
That's
well,
how you pick a fight,
You're-
Brian.
Well,
Yeah.
the thing is, it's the way I see it is just a lot of times. I used to not want to talk about my race at all because I thought I was like, I mean, everyone does it. But then at one point when I was watching, I think it was like people talking about Richard Pryor and like
Shit,
just
that
Dave Chappelle
motherfucker
and
was
Chris
a
Rock.
genius.
Really, just talk about what it was like to live their experience as a
Yeah.
black person. I thought that was interesting, and that's why I was like, well, I've got an experience as this type of person, so that's what made me feel more comfortable speaking about what I,
Yeah.
who I am, what I am, and so like. That's what you need to explain to her. And what I felt you could have explained to her, be like, look, this is what I go through and it's terrible. And the fact that people laugh is because they understand with me that it's terrible.
Exactly.
Like that's
Yes,
what
exactly.
that's the thing with people being like, oh, that was an edgy joke. Why'd you do
Yeah.
it? You shouldn't. That was offensive. It's
Yeah.
like, well, exactly. It was offensive. The fact that people laughed is because they understood that it was fucked up.
Yeah.
Like that's the whole point of
Yeah.
why I'm making this
Exactly.
joke. Like if
Now-
you didn't laugh, I'd be a little concerned.
Now,
Like, do you
this
actually
is-
believe
this
the
is-
things that I'm saying?
This is the
That's
other
not right.
thing. This is the other thing that pisses me off. That people now, and it really pisses me off. People now want to take that term retarded, and they want to compare it. This is what they're saying. You can't use retarded because it's the equivalent of using a racial slur. No, it's not.
That's where I was getting at, man.
Retarded
There's-
is an actual medical condition. You can go to a doctor, and the doctor will diagnose your kid, and they will tell you have a retarded kid. You can be mad if you want to, but you're gonna leave that office with a retarded
Well-
kid. I mean, that's not gonna change. You know what I'm saying?
And if more doctors spoke like that, the country would be stronger for it.
Yeah.
But, what I was going to get at was, man, like the thing with like, okay, even tall and short and all that, man, it's like maybe you don't have it, but you have a family. Like if you have kids, like your kid might be
I
short.
have a cousin that is actually mentally retarded.
Right.
So that's why I get upset. It's like I don't say this out of a hateful place. Like I don't, like I said, I didn't say retarded to make you feel with a certain way. My intention was actually to make you feel good, to make you feel laugh, but you took it that way. I mean, that was my only.
I'll also tell you
Okay.
this real quick. What I've noticed about the entertainment industry is just that it's all about building your audience. And so if like, because that's essentially what I kind of want to do, where it's just like, I want to give this message across, change, make people think about things this certain way. But the thing is, if people really don't want to think about what I'm trying to get across, I don't want you to be my audience member.
I was about to say
it's like,
that
if you're
they
going to
don't
be
come
that
to my
ignorant
show.
about
I
what
mean,
I'm trying to get across, then
It's
that's
a-
fine
it's
if you don't
a-
like me.
It's a real dick thing to say, especially for us, and I think I can speak for all of us in the room, because maybe our audience is not as big yet, and that's exactly what we're trying to do. We're trying to grow it, so maybe we don't want to push people away. But that's all I'm trying to say. It's a fine line that you have to walk to where you can still be yourself, get your message across, but try to offend the least people as possible.
Well, all right. Think about it like this, and this ties into the whole thing about like the cultural situation we have right now, where we're trying to figure out what is like, what are we gonna put up with? You know what I mean? Like there was shit, like we had like momentum of like so much crap that kind of came to an end. You know what I mean? Like I don't think there's any issue we're not talking about at this point. And if there is, like it's some shit that somebody hasn't yelled loud enough about. Because at this point, we're pretty fucking aware, man. We walk around on eggshells, not in the sense of like, oh my God, I'm going to get hurt. But like, no, we're actually conscious about the fact that there's fucking eggshells now. But what I was going to say was, man, to put it bluntly, man, art's kind of like fucking. There's the idea of kind of implied consent. You know what I mean? Like these whole ideas of like laws where it's like you need to have verbal consent before fucking. It doesn't always happen. And that would be nice if you walked into a comedy show or a performance of some kind and the MCs.
I don't mind making a disclaimer. I make disclaimers at Luna all the time.
Okay, well there you go, man. But that's what I'm saying. Like if at the beginning of the show the MC came out and he was like, "Hey, if you stay in this room, you cannot complain."
Yeah.
Like,
and that's what I say at Luna all the time because it's kid friendly. So I tell them before I start. I tell them, I know there's kids in the room right now. This is a good time. If you got headphones, if you got earphones, if you got an iPod, whatever the fuck it is, put it in your ear. And I tell them because you're gonna hear some shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then I continue from there.
well, it even goes to the idea of like, all right, say if, when it comes to like the racial thing, it's like, okay, you don't want fucking non-Asian comedians making like Asian jokes, right? Unless they're really good jokes, right? But yeah.
I get more offended about bad jokes than I do actual racist.
As a good
if it's a
comedian
good
should.
joke, I'd be like, all right, right on. But if it's just straight up something like this one time,
Generic shit.
some generic, just what was that about? This one time, real quick before I let you go.
it.
I was going to
leaving?
this. I was going to this. No. Before, before
I was
going
mid-sentence.
to mid sentence. Yeah. So I was at this haunted house here in the valley, and this guy heard that I was, he found out that I was Chinese, and he was saying some stuff like, "Oh, if I give you some string, a dog, and paper, can you make me a rocket?" I was more upset about the joke itself. Like there was no effort. What was that? That was just racist. Maybe you're not racist, but that was really ignorant. Like what was that about? Like,
Jesus.
yeah, that was just like, how is? Yeah, that's things like that. Like that's a bad joke. If you made
that's
a joke about
joke so fucking like what the what points of reference did you stick together in your head?
Exactly. You're like, oh, Asians are smart. They can make rockets. Oh, let me try to. I don't know, man. It was so lost. Like if he called
Like he had just seen Mulan or something.
Yeah,
He was
I
like,
don't know.
I
Like,
really like them dragons.
If something happened and someone called me a shifty ninja, I'd be like, okay, funny. But the whole dog string and paper thing, I was befuddled. Like I was like, what?
Right. Well, all right. All right. Obviously, bad humor is bad humor. Bad art is bad fucking art. Like we've all seen some shit where you just go, no.
Yeah,
I've revoked your right to ever say anything to me again.
That's how I be feeling, man, when I be watching some of these rappers on stage here.
Yeah.
Exactly.
I be
Yeah.
looking at
Exactly,
motherfuckers like
yeah.
clowns, man.
So-
I forgot what song I heard the other day from one of those rappers, Swang. They were saying something about Swang, and just like a really high pitched song, and just hit you up with the swang, something, swang. I was like, what is that? Is that even a word? Are you trying to make that a word?
Yeah.
These aren't actual lyrics. You're just trying to sell something. That's the
Yeah.
thing.
We
I don't
moved
think
we
and
moved
that's
beyond
what I
mumble
have
rap
a-
now.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
It's gibberish rap now.
Gibberish rap, yeah.
boy. Like,
Yeah. So
Yeah.
so this is how I was gonna bring this back around, back to the message thing. We're comedians. You're a musician. We all have
try to be.
Claim
we
it.
all have a message that we're trying to get across. We all have a message that we're trying to get across, you know. So this is my point. You're trying to get somewhere. You say it's a hobby. You know what I'm saying? You say it's a hobby. What is it that you're trying? Look, let me put it to you like this before I continue. In 10 years from now,
Oh shit.
where do you see yourself with your music, or where do you want to go with it?
Freddie
Nah,
asking
this
the
ain't-
real questions.
This ain't no 10 year plan, man. Like,
So what's going on?
So what's the next step, man?
Yeah.
well, actually, to be honest, man, I'm gonna try to put some money behind my shit. I think that's what separates me and a lot of other rappers, you know, who are rapping. Like me, I don't even say I'm a rapper. Honest with you, man, I'm just a dad. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dad with bars, man. I be kicking some shit. You know what I'm saying? I'm a dad first. I'm a family man first. This rap shit is just a hobby. It's what I do in my spare time. You know what I'm saying? A lot of
So
different-
so this is not really a career move for you.
Not at this age.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Not at this age. And I know, you know,
Yeah.
there's no age limit on
Right.
music, making music, but I can't be 45 downtown in the club. You know
Why
what I'm saying? Have you seen the
Hope
scene?
does it.
Who? Huh? Oh,
Hope does it.
Hove?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Hove, though. Come on. You know what I'm
Hey,
saying?
to be fair, man, I saw
Bro.
that last video he was in with Beyonce, and he just sat there. That was what he did in that video. Was just sat there, and he got a credit on the song, man. So he's doing
I
something
haven't-
right.
That's a whole nother lane. That's a whole nother
No,
genre.
I understand
You know
that, but what I'm
saying?
saying, so this is not really. So yeah, you answered it. It's not really like a career for you. It's more of a hobby, and
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. But at the same time, I got an ego myself. You know what I'm saying? And I kind of address it a little bit in a new track. You know, I'm about to be on a remix. I don't know if you heard of a cat named Johnny Fade.
yeah,
Yeah.
he performed at 1704.
Yeah,
Right,
Johnny
yeah.
Fade's tight, man. I like him. And I like one of his songs, so I want to jump on the remix. So I'm about to have a track with him. You know what I'm saying? And in it, I say something about my ego. Like, I go back and forth with my ego, bro. Like I'm
Yeah.
talking to myself, like yo, I'm
Right.
nice. I'm nice out here, but I don't go.
Yeah.
I don't go 100% in.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying? But now I think you know, so for a hobby, why the fuck are you getting tattoos of your shit on you? You know what I'm saying? Like
Yeah.
me, I went and got a tattoo 2 weeks ago
Yeah.
on my hand right there, in plain sight for everybody to see that shit, and that's my logo.
yeah.
You feel me? That's my logo. So for me to
Uh-huh.
get my logo on my body permanently, and this is
Yeah.
the hobby, bro, you better step in. That's why I said earlier
Yeah.
today. That's what I said earlier today in the interview, man. Something might change. I
Yeah.
might shift. You know what I'm saying? I think
Absolutely,
I
yeah.
might have to put some money behind my shit.
Yeah.
Really, because right now, like I said, it is a hobby.
Yeah.
I do this shit for free. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know, just jump in the booth
So-
real quick and record and make a song, put it on SoundCloud. Cool.
So
But
let
what
me.
if I start putting
so,
money behind my shit for real and
Yeah,
really
man.
believe in myself?
So
Yeah,
let me
definitely.
so let me turn it around a little bit, and then I'm gonna jump to you and then to Sean, because I do this shit all the time. But so let's keep it short term. What can people expect from Keynote within the next year?
Within a year?
Yeah.
Or within 6 months? Well, within 6 months, I'm about to do like I'm gonna put a song out this time, and then 2 more quick hitters. And what I do is
Explain
I call
what
them-
quick hitters are.
Yeah, a quick hitter, man, for me. And I'm not even saying I came up with the shit because if you click the hashtag, I saw somebody else put a quick hitter. But I thought about it because, like, a quick hitter is just a quick 16. You know what I'm saying? I think you mentioned earlier about a 16, or somebody mentioned you did. Oh yeah, like
Yeah.
a quick 16.
Yeah.
That's basically what I do right now at this point, because all I'm doing is just getting some little 16 bars up there real quick, so you know, oh, damn, this motherfucker can rap. You know what I'm saying? And if you go check my SoundCloud and shit, I do have songs. you know. But I have a lot of quick hitters though.
Right
And that's
on.
also because I do shows and people's attention spans is fucked up.
Yeah.
So instead of sitting there watching somebody do a 4-minute song, they're waiting. They're okay. It's cool. 4 minutes go by. You know what I'm saying? I'm putting out a minute track. I got you guys engaged for 16 bars. Then I cut you off. I'm going to the next track. And they're like, damn, man, I want some more. Like, hold on, man.
Right on.
And that's how I look at it.
That's interesting. Yeah.
That's how I look at it. But then, so I just dropped something last Saturday. You know what I'm saying? So if you want to check out any of my music, it's on SoundCloud. It's go to SoundCloud.com, and it's Keynote G's because Keynote wouldn't work. So Keynote G's, KEYNOTE, capital G, little Z. That's my shit. So that's where my music's at. So
while you at it, plug in the rest of your social media.
yeah. Also, you can find me on Twitter. I mean, I'm on Twitter heavy.
Are you?
Heavy.
I don't think
heavy,
I'll be honest with you, man. This whole time, man, I'll be straight up honest with you. I don't think I'll follow you on Twitter. But that's also probably because I'm not really heavy on Twitter. I need to get on.
I'm heavy on Twitter. Instagram, not so much. You know what I'm saying? Not so much. That's more pictures and shit.
Yeah.
I like words. So I write shit. You know what I'm saying?
Cool.
As much as the little characters they give you, I like tweeting.
Same tag for Twitter?
Huh? My tag for Twitter is Keynote G's too. KEYNOTE, capital G, little Z, number 2, because my second account, I forgot the password of the first one.
Have
Have you heard of recovery?
But this is cool because it's new. I'm in the Valley now.
Oh,
you know what I'm saying? And I've been here since 2011. So 2014 is when I really started putting this rap shit in kind of in motion. It's slow motion, but it's motion. You know what I'm saying? So far, so to Twitter, you can find me on Twitter, my SoundCloud, Facebook, same thing, Keynote G's. You know what I'm saying? So
I got you on Facebook.
Right. So the quick hitters is that. You know what I'm saying? It's my shows. I'm 1 minute. That's why I can fit. See, I got a 15-minute set.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And I can get like 9 songs in that bitch. You feel me? While somebody else might got a 15-minute set and they got like 3 songs because they got like 4-minute tracks.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And them tracks be boring sometimes. Like, bro, like, all right, next.
Because of the attention span. Us as comedians, if you ever been on a bad night at El Rey, it's hard, man, to get that attention span.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So.
No, man. I even give you a little fucking example of that, man. I've done sets where I walked off the stage early because I went, you get that one high laugh and you go, no, fuck it, man. This is good. This is good.
Yeah.
Whoever's getting on after me fucking has the crowd where they want them. And I just got to leave on that. So we're good. Good night.
Yeah, exactly, man. Exactly.
It's hard. Or it's
It pisses the shit out of the host, but I mean, they're fucking pissed off, but fuck them.
So that's cool, man. So basically, within 6 months, you're gonna do that?
Yeah. And plus the shows, the continued shows with John Mack, because I did take 9 months off. And I started getting back into it last month. And I would go. See, the thing is, though, I go and support. You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit how dope I think I am. You know what I'm saying? But I go out there and support. You know what I'm saying? And I'm down there, and I'm looking at them like, okay, you're not nice. You know what I'm saying? Okay, yeah, you are cool. Oh, yeah, you tight. I don't fuck with you. I don't like your music. I don't like your lyrics. And see, the thing is, though, with me, when I go downtown, they know Keynote. They don't know Marcus.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They don't know me because I don't go downtown like that. I got my family, man. I'm at the crib. But when I go down to my shows,
I'm the same way.
You know what I'm saying? I got 5 of them, so I'm at the crib.
Yeah.
5 of these little jokers. You know what I'm saying? So when I go out, it's Keynote.
Yeah.
And I'm going out there to do my shows, or I'm going out there to support.
I'm the same way with comedy, man.
I'm there at 10 o'clock, 10:15 when the shit start, and they don't even start on time. Shit don't start on time.
Right.
Yeah, it never.
You know what
does.
I'm saying? Never, man. But I'm there early, and I leave.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't give a shit if you whack on stage or not. I'm there, and then I walk away or something. But if they see Keynote, they'll know if I fuck with them or not.
Yeah.
Well,
like
it
they'll
goes
know.
to the conversation we were having last night about there is that communal aspect to if you're fucking around with the same people on the same it may be a little stressful. It's a work environment, but like there's even with family, there's some motherfuckers you don't like, but you'll still fucking you're part of the community.
And that's big. That's big to me, man. I like going out there and seeing who can rock it. You know what I'm saying?
And who gets
can
better?
spit, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, you
And-
like seeing people progress.
Yeah, and I'm
Fuck
not a
yeah.
hater. Like
Best,
you'll never
yeah.
see me go to like comedians, man. Y'all, like it's known. It's almost common for to be heckled,
Oh yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You don't go to a rap show and be heckled. You know they don't really be booing your
Yeah.
ass,
Not
right? You know
unless
what I'm
they
saying?
drunk and shit, but
yeah, but you don't really like. You know, I wouldn't do that though. Like if you whack up there, still wouldn't be booing your ass. You know what I'm saying? Because that's not. I
Right.
know what you gotta do to get up there. You know what I mean?
Right.
no, but see, the reason that you like that is because you respect the performer because you're a performer yourself.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for all of us, like 99% of the people, they're not performers, so they just feel that somehow, for some reason, they have the right to fuck with you just because you're on stage.
Well, yeah, I feel like, well, I haven't performed at too many places, but what I see or what I feel like the people who do heckle, it's always cool to be the funny one. So that's what they have in their mind. They're like, oh, this guy's
Yeah,
trying to
but-
be funny. Let me put him down. It's those people really who
Yeah.
just try to put others down, and you're like, who just ruin everyone's fun. You know, it's just really,
I love it, man. I love to see when people, they don't do it as much anymore because he's pretty big. But back in the day when people actually tried to heckle Louis C.K.,
Yeah.
you don't want it from Louis. Louis would tear their asses apart.
well,
dude,
yeah,
to the point
some people would go off.
he
yeah.
would make people walk out. Like people would literally get up and they would leave.
Nice.
But because I don't feel bad for those people because
Nah.
you basically brought it upon yourself. You were there to watch the show. That's what you paid for. You didn't pay to be a part of the show.
Yeah.
So, you know what I'm saying? So
Well, it's random on both sides, man. Like you don't know what kind of audience you're gonna get. You might get some asshole in the fucking crowd, and if you're the asshole in the crowd, you don't know what kind of performer you have on stage. man.
yeah, seriously.
no, but I
Sometimes you
mean,
get
I'm pretty
surprised.
sure if they went to go see Louis, they know what the fuck Louis is about. And I mean,
Well,
Okay,
he
yeah,
seems
yeah.
like a chill dude.
No,
so
he-
you wouldn't
he-
expect too much.
he-
Like
no, he's
another example
cool.
is like Louis, or like I've seen Bo Burnham go off on hecklers.
Yeah.
where you're just like, oh, it's just some nerdy little kid. So you can expect some douchebag to start heckling, and then the response Bo Burnham might give is just like, whoa, I didn't expect that to
Dude,
come out of
I don't
there.
think people realize that motherfucker came out of YouTube. He understands what hostile is.
Right,
Who?
right.
Who?
Bo Burnham, he's a young
Bo-
I'm
comedian.
looking
Yeah.
up.
He's a young guy.
The other one that's really good of like settling the crowd down, but like he's savage, bro, with it is D. Ray Davis. That
Right.
dude will fucking tear you a new asshole. Like I remember this there was a lesbian couple in the front row, and he said a gay joke towards women, and one of the girl wasn't having it, and she decided to get up and actually throw an empty cup at him, and he didn't hit him because he moved. He got the reflexes and shit. And then he, like, as soon as they did that, and you can look it up, it's on YouTube.
Right.
He went like he was like, who threw that, whatever, right? And he saw that it was and she like real fucking big shit, like she was like, it was me. He completely went off, and he point and moral of the story, he made the chick like cry. She
God
she
damn.
started crying, and like I said, it was a lesbian couple. And they got up and left.
Some people, some comedians handle that better than others. I'll say that. Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's completely rude,
and-
though. Throwing the cup is just like,
Yeah.
Well, no, I
and-
was talking to a guy who was a headliner in his own right, but he was talking about doing feature work for another headliner who is known for being like he's already like kind of engaging the crowd in his set, so like he has no problem like going after somebody specifically if they're talking during this. Like I've seen the guy like go after people who are just glancing at their cell phone. But he was talking about being the feature for that guy, and he's like, I get to do the soft touch. I get to be like, hey, you guys should, be quiet. You should turn your phone off. You know what I mean? Because the whole thing is, it's like I'm the nice guy. The guy coming out next is not going to put up with your bullshit.
nice, yeah.
So it's like you try the soft touch first, and then, but then again, man, you never know what the performer is. The opening
Yeah, you
act,
don't,
man,
yeah.
fucking. I've seen Christian Oviedo, who local comedian. I saw him open up a show and go off on a fucking table of people who were. It was their first comedy show. They had no idea. They were talking out loud like they were watching their TV back home. It was.
No way he did.
Yeah.
I-
Hey, folks, this is Sean.
this is the point in the conversation where the batteries on the soundboard died. So you're going to have to imagine how the rest of that went. Sorry. I hope you enjoyed the show. You can listen to myself and Freddy G again. Upcoming episodes we'll be releasing on Wednesdays and Fridays, hopefully for the foreseeable future. I hope you enjoyed our guests. Keynote, go check them out if you get a chance. We'll try to put a link up in the description for the video. And Bryan Ventura-Vuong, great guy, funny dude. Wish nothing but the best for him. So, hope you had fun. Peace.